From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Our top story, the Interior Gas Utility will host a construction open house April 14th, which is next Tuesday from 4 to 7 p.m. at the North Pole Library.
IGU project manager David Pruzak will give 3 15-minute presentations at 4:30, 5:30, and 6:15. Contractors began clearing right-of-way in March for the installation of 80 miles of gas distribution line. Phase 1 pipe is set to be buried this summer. Now, some residents are upset over how right-of-way clearing has affected their property. Right-of-way agents will be on hand during next Tuesday's open house to discuss any property issues that owners may have. IGU spokeswoman Mindy O'Neill reassures residents that municipal utility will clean up after construction is complete.
The contractors that we work with are under contract to put things back the way they found it. And while it doesn't, right now the snow's melting, there's wood everywhere, there's splitting. They're going to be going through and installing pipe very soon, within the next couple months. So there's still a lot of work to be done, and we're continually in the process of cleaning up those clearing areas and those right-of-way areas.
The Fairbanks North Star Borough School District faces an additional $6.1 million budget gap following a 4% cut to the base student allocation by the state Senate last week. The Fairbanks School Board Legislative Committee met last night to discuss ramifications of the cuts. $6.1 million equates to about 55 additional lost jobs. Letters of doubtful status went out to many district employees in March. Letters of non-renewal of contract are scheduled to go out tomorrow, but how many and to whom are unknown. Board Legislative Committee members moved into an emergency executive session last night to discuss legal matters associated with sending out the layoff notices. Upon returning, the committee took no action in terms of guiding district administration on the letters. Calling an emergency meeting was discussed, but was not moved as there wouldn't be time to give public notice of such a meeting. In short, letters will be sent without input from the school board.
We're at an impasse as far as the board is concerned. We have left it to the administration to follow through on the letters as of April the 10th. So there's nothing else we can do as a board.
A Venati man has been indicted by a Fairbanks grand jury for the murder of his brother. 20-year-old Chance Eric will face 2 charges of second-degree murder and the homicide of 36-year-old Earl Eric Jr. Now, according to court documents, Alaska State Troopers found Earl unconscious inside his residence on March 12th. He died after being flown to Fairbanks Memorial Hospital. Chance Eric allegedly told authorities he clubbed his brother with a large stick, causing the fatal injuries. Chance's next appearance will be in arraignment in Fairbanks Superior Court.
Interior health workers voiced their plans to move forward with the Healthy Fairbanks 2020 initiative at the Fairbanks Memorial Hospital yesterday. The project aims to solve the largest public health issues facing the region. Areas of focus have been designated and include identifying long-term methods to decrease Alaska's overwhelming rate of domestic violence. The initiative also concentrates on providing tailored mental health services during a time when grant money is shrinking. In addition, the group intends to create affordable options to help people deal with substance abuse beyond core services, something many health workers say may become increasingly important in the face of marijuana legalization. Fairbanks Memorial Hospital Education Manager Corliss Taylor says the initiative was inspired by a larger statewide movement.
We had someone from the state public health department come and talk about the initiative for Healthy Alaskans 2020, and we just decided we wanted to focus in more specifically on the interior instead of the entire state because, of course, you know, as public health professionals, we're focused on the health of our community where we live.
All right, when we come back, we'll find out how organizations in the Fairbanks community fared with this year's Pick, Click, and Give program.
Also, it's time once again for Fairbanks Flavor.
Yum.
Tonight, we'll learn how to make double-dipped panko chicken.
Yum.
Those stories and more when we return.
Welcome back. One of the items cut from the state's capital budget by the Senate Finance Committee is $8 million that Governor Bill Walker approved to finish the University of Alaska Fairbanks Engineering Building. The $111 million project was started in 2013 and was expected to be finished this summer. The University Board of Regents had requested $31 million from the state to finish the construction. Now, the cuts in the budget totaled $45 million, with the Fairbanks area seeing the biggest loss of funds.
A dividend program called Pick, Click, Give has made a record amount of money in pledges this year. Amy Chazet has more on how some of the local organizations fared.
The filing period is over for the Alaska Permanent Fund dividend, and around 6% of Alaskans made a record-breaking $3.3 million in pledges. The Pick, Click, Give program allows people to give a portion of their dividend to causes they care about. Fairbanks organizations received more than 4,000 donations, with the top 3 listed as the Food Bank, Animal Shelter, and the Rescue Mission. Representatives from the Fairbanks Community Food Bank are proud to see so much support.
It is so humbling to turn around and see that once again we're at the top of the list. Once again, we broke 30,000 this year with 502 donors. That is so humbling.
The Fairbanks Animal Shelter Fund is receiving $32,000 to supplement services provided by Animal Control. The shelter mainly provides housing for impounded animals, adoption, or those in quarantine. President of the Shelter Fund, Ronnie Rosenberg, says they will continue to pay for supplemental veterinary care and help with general operating expenses. But she also says a project may be in the works.
This year we're hoping to get a livestock barn up because we don't have any place for large animals.
The third top fundraiser is the Fairbanks Rescue Mission that provides shelter and food to those in need. Executive Director Rodney Gaskins says the $24,000 will help with the higher costs of operating.
Last year we served over 78,000 meals and we had over 48,000 nights of occupancy. And that was up. The occupancy was up 13,000 more than the previous year.
Although the deadline to apply for this year's dividend has passed, donations for the Pick, Click, Give program are still being accepted online. Gaskin says this community support is like an answer to his prayers.
So when I was looking at the numbers of how much we needed, it was around $25,000. So for the Pick, Click, Give to, just to come up with 24,000 some, it was divine. It was almost exactly what we needed, or better yet, it was what we needed.
This is Amy Chassé reporting.
And now it's time for this week's edition of Fairbanks Flavor. What's on the menu tonight? Double dipped pinko chicken.
Hello, welcome to Fairbanks Flavor. I'm Lisa Gambardella, downtown at Gambardella's Pasta Bella. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're making double dipped panko chicken. It's nice and tender and delicious, starting with some olive oil in a hot pan, some tender chicken breast, dredge it in flour, egg, some deliciously seasoned panko breadcrumb. Here's the fun part. We're going to some half and half. It makes a batter coating on it, and we're dipping again. Keeps the chicken nice and moist. That is great. Turn the heat down a little so it can bake. You want it to start out a little bit hotter and then bake it. I'm going to put some apples in here. And the apples are going to give a flavor. They're going to cook down similar to when you have applesauce on a pork chop. So it's a nice combination of sweet and salty. And towards the end, we're going to add some butter. So those can make a nice caramelization with the apples. And here we have a finished product, because you're going to want to bake it in the pan. And there you have it. Oh, that is going to be delicious with the apples. This has been Fairbanks Flavor. See our recipes at webcenter11.com.
Brought to you by Gambardella's Pasta Bella.
Always looks so good.
I like my spicy, so I'd have some Tabasco right with it. But that looks perfect.
So good.
Perfect.
She does such a good job.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And remember, you can visit webcenter11.com to get those details and cook them for your family.
That's right. Okay, Joe Cook is next with sports. He has a preview of this weekend's playoff game for the Ice Dogs.
Plus, roller derby will have its season finale this weekend. Ooh, that's exciting. So stay tuned with Joe Cook.
Hello, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here in the sports seat for you this evening with your local Thursday Sportscast. It's playoff time for the Fairbanks Ice Dogs, and they will host the Minnesota Magicians in the Best of 5 series starting Friday night. Here's more on the first round matchup.
A new season begins this weekend, but the goal remains the same for the defending Robertson Cup champions. They want another cup, but before they do that, it starts with the division semifinal against the Minnesota Magicians. It's a 1 versus 4 seed matchup.
You're always anxious, but I mean, it was good to have a week off and get used to the team, watch some video, and be ready to play this following weekend.
Minnesota, with 21 regular season wins, brings in goalie Von Ahrens, a 6'2 goalie with a 12-12-2 record. Sam Becker and Lucas Lobb are both north of 40 points to lead their offense. Fairbanks won the season series over the Magicians 3-1. The Ice Dogs won by at least 2 goals in their 3 victories.
They're a quick strike team. You could be, in the offensive zone for quite a while. Next thing you know, they're on a 3-on-1 or a 3-on-2 odd man situation coming back at you.
The Ice Dogs led the NAHL in scoring this season thanks to 4 players in the top 15. Chandler Maudry led the league in assists and was 2nd overall in points. He's joined by line mate Jacob Hetz, who was 7th in scoring. Add Jesper Orval, who leads in goals per game, and you have one of the most prolific lines in the NA. Any pressure for these guys to put up a lot of points?
I mean, obviously there's going to be a little pressure there, but we just got to play our game, and I think we should be fine down the stretch. I think it's going to come down to the little things like blocking shots and like being there for the guy beside you. Everything's for the team. I think if everything gets individualistic, I think that's where we're going to fall apart.
Ice Dogs hockey is just hard work. I think if we do that, we'll come up on top in the first game.
The veterans on this team will have to show the new and younger players what it takes. Their message is starting to sink in.
They say it's a tough game. The game's completely different than the regular season. Guys come to hit, they come to make plays, and everyone's playing for their last game of the year.
The quest for back-to-back Robo Cups begins this Friday night at 7:30 in the Big Dipper for Game 1 in a best-of-5 series.
And the season finale for roller derby is this weekend, and this one is significant. It's the final bout before the state tournament in May, and new teams will visit Fairbanks. To start Saturday's doubleheader, the hometown Raven Rebels take on the Boomtown Derby Dames from Matsu Valley. That's going to start at 6:30. Then the Fairbanks Gold Diggers will go up against the Kodiak Rock Island Rollers. This is Kodiak's first visit to Fairbanks. This Friday, you can meet the Fairbanks Roller Girls at Sports Authority from noon until 6 as well. Saturday's doubleheader will also support the Fight for Autism. A portion of the proceeds will go to the Autism Society of Alaska. Giving out punishment and giving back is the main mission.
We are a nonprofit organization, so every bout we choose an organization that we want to help out and give to. So autism is a big cause that we want to help with, and that was one that we chose.
Roller derby's been growing statewide for many, many years, and it's really a neat thing to be able to have a team come all the way up from Kodiak to play against us here in Fairbanks, and it's really exciting to see how the sport is growing, and this level of competition that we're getting in is pretty amazing.
And in recent UAF news, assistant women's basketball coach Greg Bruce will retire. Bruce came out of retirement after a year off to coach again for the Alaska Nanooks. And it was a season to remember as the Nanooks finished 14-14, their best record since 2001. They started the season 5-0, and they also had a 6-game win streak midway through the year. Bruce ends an over 30-year coaching career. He is Portland State's winningest head coach and has 349 wins in 22 seasons as a head coach. Despite a great first year at the U, Bruce will retire again, citing recurring health issues, and he will return to his home in Oregon. And some of the interior's best and brightest seniors will be featured in this Saturday's Senior All-Star Basketball Game. The games are put on by the Alaska Association of Basketball Coaches. Representing the interior for 3A are Monroe's Jalen McCullough and Edwin Erickson, and Hutchinson's Michael Benson. Tyrell Peterson will represent West Valley in the 4A team. Hutchinson's Ellie Veazey and Marion Walmsley Valdez, a UAF recruit, were picked but will not play due to injuries. And Mentos Kia Well and Gabrielle Titus will be in the 1A-2A All-Star game, along with Glen Allen's Ariana Dougal. Heather Canuck will represent Nenana in the girls' game. Cameron Peters will be in the boys' game for the Glen Allen Panthers, as well as Mike Stickman of Nenana. Now, 90 players across the state were selected for the game. There will also be a three-point and dunk contest as well. The games start at 2:30 this Saturday at Diamond High School, and they will be live streamed at asln.net. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back in Thursday night. Mike Schultz with you once again on a Fairbanks Evening News, and we're talking again about weather. You know, it wasn't too bad today. The temperatures really were close to 50 degrees, about 46 at the airport. And we're looking at temperatures that start cooling down pretty good over the weekend, but then warming back up again by Sunday. So if you got one day there, it looks like Saturday might be the worst day. You know, even though it's spring, we have one photograph that was sent in today. This one was taken in November by Marika Wright, and you can see here Aurora with ice pillars, the beautiful Aurora, and then the ice pillars from the ice crystals being captured on the lights and shining back up. Very nice colors and contrast there. And as always, if you have a photograph, well, by all means, send it to photos@ktvf11.com, and we will share it with the rest of the audience. Beautiful colors there, a nice shot. Here's your numbers right now at the airport, 45 after a high of 47 now. The low last night was 21. Record high in 2007, up to 56 that day, and down to 16 below in 1911. Your sunrise and sunset, 14 hours and 37 minutes of sunlight, and that's a gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. On the satellite and radar, still an area of low pressure, just kind of swinging around, pivoting, moving all this moisture across all of southeast Alaska and all the high clouds moving across the Alaska Range. But again, the moisture is trapped down to the south of the Alaska Range with quite a bit of widespread rainfall in the Anchorage Bowl and on the Kenai Peninsula. And the map again today shows all the rain falling across southeast Alaska. As you can see, temperatures have cooled down there too, in the mid-40s. Not a bad day in Anchorage, 46 degrees. And Kodiak looking at a few showers, 42. Cold Bay, 34, lots of sunshine. Up and down the west coast, clear to partly cloudy skies. Barrow looking at cloudy skies and 5 above, but 45 in Fort Yukon. Very nice day for those folks there. In the lower 48, things are really quieting down on the west coast. Still a few scattered showers around the Seattle area. The storms that were over Texas yesterday have transitioned over to the east now, and they're looking at some pretty heavy activity going on over the deep south. That's going to continuing to move to the east. All over the northeast, still a few scattered lingering showers. On the satellite radar, you can see these bands really developing rapidly in the unstable air there, and that is helping to bring quite a bit of heavy rainfall, gusty winds, and maybe even some isolated tornadoes. And the activity associated with that storm center is moving across the Great Lakes, bringing some scattered snow showers there. While over the west coast, it looks pretty good. High pressure is starting to build in and give those folks some better weather. And the overall outlook for this weekend looks like it's going to go downhill for you heading for the Pacific Northwest. A big area of rain expected to move across into the Seattle area, while the rest of the country enjoys, for the most part, nice weather over the southwest, scattered showers and thunderstorms over the deep south into the Great Lakes, but warmer temperatures, as you can see, over the northeast and drying out. Those folks need that in the worst way. All right, back to Alaska for tomorrow in the northern sections. Cloudy skies expected at Barrow and snow showers for Fort Yukon, and just mostly cloudy skies at Nome. Here in the interior, we're looking at clouds increasing throughout the day, with rain and snow showers developing by evening across the entire region. A little better chance of seeing some snow shower activity around Delta Junction area. And over the southeast, well, yeah, the rain's going to continue. Widespread rain showers from Juneau to Ketchikan, and temperatures around the 50-degree mark. While over the southwest part of the state, it looks like snow showers at Cold Bay and Bethel, and rain and snow in Kodiak. And if you're heading on down to the Anchorage area, not too bad. Cloudy skies for Anchorage, partly cloudy at Homer, and a little snow in Valdez. Okay, time once again for our kids' weather. And all this week we've been talking with the kids from Arctic Light Elementary School. But tonight, here's their teacher with a cool weather fact.
Hello, I'm Miss Grogan, and this is my 5th grade class here at Arctic Light Elementary. And we have a weather fact to share with you. Class, did you know the largest hailstones ever recorded were produced in Nebraska and weighed up to 2 1/4 pounds each and also measured 8 inches across? Wow! Amazing.
That is amazing. That's about that big of a hailstone coming through your roof. That's not a good thing to have. Again, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our kids' weather. And next week, we'll be visiting with the kids from Badger Road Elementary School. There's your forecast for the remainder of the night. 23 degrees, increasing clouds through the night, becoming cloudy by morning. And then tomorrow, we're looking at 44 for the high, with a chance of rain and snow showers developing by evening. A little better chance in the overnight hours on Friday night into Saturday, as you can see here. Cooling down to 37 degrees and 40 for Sunday and Monday and Tuesday, but then recovering and back up to the mid-40s by Tuesday and Wednesday, the way it looks right now. Overnight lows will also be, once again, not too bad, just about where they should be this time of year, right around the 20-degree mark, maybe a little warmer by Tuesday and Wednesday. But you might see a little dusting of snow this weekend.
I really don't like that.
Is it really called snow or smud at this point?
It's ugly, I know that, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. We call it snain, don't we?
Snade?
Snain.
Snain, that's
yes,
right.
Snow and rain.
Oh, okay.
Snain.
Snain.
Yes.
Snain.
I'm not a fan of that forecast, to be honest with you.
Well, you know.
Hopefully it won't stick or make it the ground white again.
No, I don't think so. No. I don't think. I talked to the Weather Service today. They said, we don't think we're going to get that much at all.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, and it'll be just Saturday night too, so let's hope.
Oh, okay.
I'll call it Smain. Snow, rain, and mud.
That's good.
Hey.
I like that.
It's Madane.
That will wrap up this edition
Oh
of the
my
Fairbanks
gosh.
Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, will Obama and Castro meet at the Summit of the Americas? That's up next with Lester Holt.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
From all of us here at the News Center, we hope you have a good night.
Night.